Hello everyone. In this video, we will look at the most commonly made errors in the correction of sentences with regard to conjunctions. So the first mistake, uh, when we have a choice between either such that or such as, what do we use? So as far as such that is concerned, it is used when there is an outcome or a result. And when is such as used? It is used in the general sense of the word. Let us look at an example to understand this. So an example of such that: the girl asked such a question that all began thinking about it. All began thinking about it is the action that was a result of the girl asking such a question. An example for such as: the teacher showed us monuments such as Taj Mahal and Qutub Minar. It would be, for example, Taj Mahal and Qutub Minar. Such as is taken in that sense of the word. So moving on. The mistake of using never and nor as correlative conjunctions. So let's look at the commonly made mistake. The teacher said, never use the board nor the duster. So never and not are used with or and not nor. This is an important rule to be kept in mind. Never and not are used with or. So let's look at the sentence. We doubt that he will crack the examination. So let us see whether we have any mistake here. I think there's a problem with that. So let's see what it says. In an affirmative statement, the words whether and if are used. The above being one, we would replace that with if or whether. So that would be replaced by either if or whether, because this is a positive or an affirmative statement. And when is that used? That is used when it is a negative or an interrogative statement. So as an example, we doubt that he will not be able to finish the examination. As it is a negative sentence, we would use that. So the usage of otherwise and less, these are most confusing, which lead to simple deduction of mass. So let us look at these. The word otherwise, if used, is followed by will or shall. Important to keep these things in mind. The word otherwise is used with will or shall. And the word lest is followed by should. It's important that you look for should after the word lest, and if it isn't found, that means there's an error in that part of the sentence. So what is the correlative conjunction with scarcely and hardly? I mean the other word that is used. So as a combination, scarcely and hardly are used with when. When is the word, not any other word. Use when in consonance with scarcely and hardly. So the next one, arrangement of sentence when not only is used. So this looks very simple. When we use not only, sometimes the sentence looks correct, but there is one part of the sentence, the first part, that there might be an error which we need to look out for. So he is not only involved in planning the event, but also in executing it. So as a sentence, this looks perfect. There's no error in it. From the outset, it looks like it's perfect. But he is involved not only in planning. The action comes before not only. Not only can't exist in vacuum. He is involved not only in planning the event, but also executing it. So it's important that you remember the sentence might look correct, but it's important to look at the first part of the sentence and then decide if there's any mistake there. So the mistake of using between and that. So the common mistake is using between and that as combinations. There's a mistake here. We used 8 instead of 7th. So let's look at the 7th mistake. So the mistake of using between and that as a combination. The correct usage would be between followed by and as a word. And if you don't find and, it points to somewhere the sentence being wrong. These are mistakes which are not clearly visible or clearly seen as coming out, because these are not normally used in spoken English. So although and but are not used together as an example. So as an example, although the first examination was tough, but the second examination was easy. When all those used, but is not to be used because but would become redundant in the sentence, but would become unnecessary. So the correct sentence is, although the first examination was tough, the second one was easy. You need to look out for these words. And then an important one, the usage of since and for. So since is used to describe a particular moment in time and not a period of time. As an example, we have been living there since 1997 would be an example. And for is used to describe the period of time. We have been living there for 20 years would be an example of using for as a period of time. So the next one, as well as. This is a commonly made mistake. Most examinations would likely test you on this, because in spoken English it sounds correct. The principal as well as the teachers are going for the party. It sounds perfectly correct, but when we use as well as, it is followed by a singular form rather than a plural form. As an example, the principal as well as the teachers is going for the party. So the importance of subject-verb agreement in these kind of situations. So neither I nor my friends has gone for the party. So this sentence would be wrong because my friends taking a group, we would have as a word there rather than has. So note nor and or take a word closer to the verb, and neither take a singular form in formal writing. Neither one of these lights is working. Either you or he is going for the party. That would be an example for either. That's all for this video, friends. Thank you and take care.